A hero's welcome back home in the works for one Chicago Cubs superstar player of the past, as well as, man, Cubs just might look out and get a huge star for the future. Guys, let's talk about it right after this. Cubs fans, Cubs fans, Cubs fans, Cubs fans, what's going on? How are you guys doing? Appreciate you guys for tuning in to another episode of the CCC, Chicago Cubs Central, right here on the Chi-Town Sports Central Network. I am your host, Mike Jones. Excited that you guys are joining me again. And y'all, we got so much to get into. I've missed talking to you over the last couple of days. So let's just get right into it, right down to it. Cubs are reportedly back in play for one Corbin Burns. Now, the words that are coming out right now is the Jose Luzardo trade talks with the Miami Marlins have stalled, pretty much gone cold, stopped because the Cubs are focusing attention elsewhere. Now, elsewhere is going to be my first two topics of today's show. The very first topic, I believe, is Jed Hoyer is rubbing his fingers together right now, DJ Khaled style, thinking of the possibility of signing ace player Corbin Burns. Now, I know what you say, Mike. How can this happen? Why would this happen? Well, according to sources, both sides, both parties have interest in joining. Craig Counsell wants to once again manage Corbin Burns. Corbin Burns once again wants to be managed by Craig Counsell. Corbin Burns pitched his best efforts when manager Craig Counsell was at the helm of his team in Milwaukee. So this could potentially happen. The Cubs could potentially go and get that ace starting pitcher that they've so desperately needed. So then you would slate Corbin Burns, then you would do Justin Steele, then you would do Shota Imanaga, then you would do Jamison Tyone, and then you could figure out who you want to be your fifth starter, whether that be the guy from the Guardians that you traded for, or if you wanted somebody else. It just kind of depends what you want with that. But that leaves you with so many different options now to start. Mitchell is his name, I believe. So, like I said, we have opportunity after opportunity after opportunity for we're going to say out there, Mike. I don't know if we want to sign Corbin Burns. Mike, he's injury prone. I hear you, 1,010%. He does not have the best track record with injuries. Mike, he also has his numbers have been declining. He's not been able to stay healthy. His like I said, he's been getting hit a lot more, and he's not the dominant pitcher he once was when he was pitching for the Brewers and Craig Counsell the first go around. What I would tell you is familiarity with pitchers is key. If we can get him in our system, get him back familiar surroundings, dealing with Craig Counsell and being managed by him, I truly believe that Craig is going to figure out ways this year to pull the very best out of this roster. And I think that he's really going to put his manager's hat on like he did in Milwaukee, and he's really going to try his best efforts to win 90 plus games. And again, having an ace like Baron, like Corbin Burns, is nothing short of allowing you the opportunity to win 90 plus games, especially with him at the helm starting for you as your ace pitcher. And again, this is what I've been talking about, guys. I want somebody that's going to take the pressure off of Justin Steele, off of Shota Imanaga, because to be quite honest with you guys, and this will be a subject for another episode, I'm nervous about Shota Imanaga's second season in the MLB. I'm very, very nervous about this, and I'll cover that in large and in full in my expectation episodes once we get closer to season's time. But for right now, I would just say I'm nervous about Shota Imanaga's second season. I think that hitters hit into some bad luck against him last year. I also think that him and Jamison Tyone both got very, very lucky with how Wrigley Field played last year. He was dominant at times, But I think had Wrigley Field played as a normal field last year without the wind constantly always blowing in, I definitely think that his numbers might have ballooned a little bit more than they did. Now, obviously, I still don't want to take nothing away from the amazing season he had, but I'm cautious to expect the same type of season out of Shota Imanaga next year. So this is why it's important, guys, that we go get another ace. We go get somebody that, in case Shota is having a rough season, in case Justin Steele does start slow, in case Jameson Tyone can't figure things out and he keeps regressing, then you have somebody that you know is your go-to guy that's at least going to be able to keep you in games. And again, if these pitchers do start off slow, that's why you want to fortify your team by having guys that can knock the cover off the ball on the other side, on your offensive side, just in case your defense does start off slow. So going out and getting somebody like a Corbin Burns, it makes sense. I think it's the best idea that the Cubs could have. And considering nobody wants to do business with Scott Boras, all these teams are crying broke, and Scott Boras is the agent for Corbin Burns. Then you also have to look at the fact that, I mean, you could possibly end up doing another deal with him like you did with Cody Bellinger, where you might have to give him an opt out or two, but you might get him for a lot cheaper than what he's asking. You might have to pay $200 million for this guy. You may get him even on a year rental and just see how things go. And then when more money frees up next offseason, then maybe you sign him to a longer term deal. But first you got to sign Kyle Tucker. That's numero uno. But I mean, like I said, the options are there for the Chicago Cubs, and Jay can definitely get creative in offering. And of course, that's the meeting you bring Craig Counsell in, and you say, Craig, come with me to this meeting. Let's go talk to Corbin Burns and let's see where his mind is at, if he is willing to maybe, work with us financially, sign a 1-year deal, pitch his ass off. And I mean, if he signs back with us and accepts our extension, cool. If he goes somewhere else, cool. Like I said, because there'll be more pitching free agents next year that the Cubs could potentially lure and sign in his place. But getting him at a steal this year, if it's possible, if it's feasible, go for it. But what say you guys? What do you think the Cubs ought to do? Should they really make a hard pitch for Corbin Burns? Do you want Corbin Burns to be a Chicago Cub? Or are you hoping for somebody else? And the somebody else I'm talking about is Roki Sasaki. The Japanese pitching phenom is not slated or expected to make his decision, just like Corbin Burns. He's not expected to make his decision until after Christmas. After Christmas, a lot of these players that are left over are going to start signing deals and figuring out which team they want to go for. Again, another name that's being thrown out there is Nolan Arenado. He wants to make his decision probably after Christmas. Also, Alice Bregman needs to make a decision after Christmas. There are deals on the table for these players, but we don't know exactly what they want to do yet. Now, with that being said, Corbin Burns as well as Roki Sasaki are the two starting pitchers right now that the Cubs are all in on. The focuses are there. The Cubs already sent out the preliminary pitch to Roki Sasaki. They are definitely trying to pitch him to come to Chicago. Hopefully they can get that deal done. And then, of course, like I said, if you could get Roki Sasaki, because you could get him for cheap because he's an international player, and then still have money left over to go get a Corbin Burns, I mean, that just shores up your starting pitching rotation. I understand there's going to be somebody right now typing in the comments, keep dreaming. You're not getting Corbin Burns and Roki Sasaki. You never know. You never know. Like I said, guys, we talked about this on last episode. There is a sense of urgency within this organization right now. And the feeling is we need to strike while the iron is hot. That Kyle Tucker move reinvigorated this front office. It's reinvigorating this team. And guys are getting excited about coming and playing with Kyle Tucker. And you literally can use him as bait to lure guys to come sign and play for you. Like, hey, we got one of the best players, bar for bar, in baseball on our team now, in our outfield. He's one of the best hitters. You're looking at potentially 40 home runs. You're looking at potential MVP candidate. I mean, like I said, you put somebody like this, your numbers are going to blow up. Then you can turn around this offseason and get paid. You know, like I said, I know everybody wants a long-term deal and wants a long-term insurance. That they're going to get whatever they're going to get whatever money they're asking for. But at the same time, I don't understand why more players don't want to take a 1 or 2 year deal where they have flexibility, and if they ball out, then they can command even more in the market next year because they can say, hey, look what I did last year. In theory, that's how it's supposed to work. But then again, there's always the Cody Bellingers of the world that was in the MVP conversation, but teams didn't believe in him. And then 2024, he showed them why they shouldn't believe in him. So, like I said, there's that aspect of it as well. But from everything that I'm hearing, Roki Sasaki and Corbin Burns are both definitely in play for the Chicago Cubs. And good on them. Good on them. These are the names that should be brought up with the Chicago Cubs. These are the names that we should be trying to go after. These are the names that we should be in the market for. Names that are going to bring notoriety, going to bring fandom, going to bring us those marquee games back to the north side of Chicago because that's where we should be. We are a diamond franchise and we have to carry ourselves as such. We have to act like it. And when you're being in on those big names is one way that we can do that. So again, let me know, who would you rather want? Who would you rather sign? Would you rather sign Roki Sasaki or would you rather sign Corbin Burns? Both have upside, both have downside. It's really a risk with either pitcher, but the reward could be great for either one. Or are you just greedy and you want both? That's our question for the day. So I need you, if you like this show and you like the content I'm putting out and you like what I'm talking about, I need you to go ahead and hit the like button if you want the Cubs to sign Corbin Burns. I need you to hit the subscribe button if you want the Cubs to get Roki Sasaki. I need you to hit the share button if you want the Cubs to get both, and send this podcast to your favorite person and tell them, hey, he's talking about Corbin Burns and possibly Roki Sasaki coming to the Cubs, because right now that is still in play. Now, moving right along, another thing that the Cubs need to address is the closer position. Me and Big Kev talked about this. Me and Tyrone talked about this. This is going to continue to be something that we talk about and we address. Like I said, since the Cubs did not end up trading for Crochet, he is now a Boston Red Sox. Now the Cubs do need a closer, and I understand people say, "Hey, the Cubs should keep Porter Hodge at the closer position." And while he was successful last year at the closer position, I'm hesitant. I'm hesitant in a season with so much on the line to put Porter Hodge back out there for a second go around. Teams have tape on him now. Teams kind of know what he's coming with. And again, he does have triple digits to be able to overpower you. He can hit triple digits to be able to overpower you with his stuff. And he does have good movement on his stuff. But the more experienced hitters are watching film on him days before and preparing to go up against him in that ninth inning. And I just would like somebody that is more seasoned, a more seasoned vet, somebody that has been there before, been in that closer position, and has also had major success in that closer position. So I have had my eyes on Kirby Yates. For a majority of the offseason as the guy that the Cubs should go after to try to sign for that closer position. I think I'm if it's me, I'm signing him to a 2-year deal, maybe 28 million, around between anywhere between 25 to 28 million for him. He is a known proven closer. He was with the Rangers when they won the World Series. He is a free agent. He is 38 years old. He's an older pitcher. However, his stuff is good. What he's able to do on the mound, how he's able to lock down and seal games is something the Chicago Cubs have not had since Aroldis Chapman back in 2016. So, like I said, to be able to have that type of shutdown closer that you can hand the ball to in the ninth and with a one run lead and say, "Hey, go take us there, close this game for us, get us quick three quick outs so that we can go home." To have somebody like Kirby Yates is somebody I think that I would like to have on this team personally. Again, there are some people that have thought that the Cubs can try to do maybe closer by committee again. Guys, That is the worst idea that you could have. That closing by committee is not a good idea. And I know that uh 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 that Jed and also Carter and also Craig try to play down the notion of, oh, we need a closer, we need a closer. Well, what's the closer position? What's the actual definition of a closer? A closer, the definition of a closer is the guy that at the end of the game you hand him that baseball, you got a one run lead, or you need to hold that lead in the ninth, and you tell him, hey, take us there, whether it's the bottom of the ninth, well, and you're away, or it's at the top of the ninth and you're at home. Finish this game for us. Close this game out. Shut these guys down. Get strikeouts. We're not asking for weak contact. We're not asking for fly balls. We're asking for strikeouts. We need a strikeout pitcher, somebody that's going to overpower at in the ninth inning to close the game. And that's what's going to be a key to the Cubs this year. Again, 25 blown saves for Cubs closing pitchers last year between Hector Neris and Adbert Alzolay. So again, these are important things for the Chicago Cubs to figure out. Because I mean, like I said, it's just going to be imperative. Excuse me. It's going to be imperative for this season that we handle this, that we make sure that we get this closer position locked down. So let me know in the comments, guys. What do you want the Cubs to do with the closer position? Talk to me. I need to know from you. What are your thoughts? Who are we putting at the closer position? Does Kirby Yates sound good? Do you want to stick with Porter Hodge? Is there another closer that I'm missing that maybe I need to have my eye on that you guys think might be better suited to help the Cubs close and win games? I don't care. I just want to win this season. I want the Chicago Cubs to be as successful as humanly possible this season. And in order to do that, one thing you got to have is a closer that is able to shut down and finish games for you. So, with that being said, I did have one more thing that I did want to talk to you guys about today. um I was so relieved when I was scrolling Twitter a little bit ago, and then it happened. That's right, the bomb dropped. Something that was so unforeseen that I honestly had given up and just thought would never happen. Sammy Sosa apologized for his past mistakes. He acknowledged that he did things to keep his strength up, and whatever he did, he could to recover from injuries, which is the closest thing we'll get to him admitting that he took performance enhancing drugs. But this was Sammy Sosa's full statement if you haven't read it. He said, I left it all on the field for the Cubs and Cubs fans because I wanted to win and make the fans happy. I love to see the fans at Wrigley in the right field bleachers every home game. I understand why some players in my era don't always get the recognition that our stats deserve. There were times I did whatever I could to recover from injuries in an effort to keep my strength up to perform over 162 games. I never broke any laws, but in hindsight, I made mistakes and I apologize. We accomplished great things as a team, and I worked extremely hard on in the batting cage to become a great hitter. Cubs fans are the best in the world, and I hope the fans and Cubs I can all come together again and move forward. We cannot change the past, but the future is bright. In my heart, I have always been a Cub, and I can't wait to see Cubs fans again. Sincerely, one Sammy Sosa. So a little back history, guys, for you guys on the channel. To some of you, I may sound like a young buck. I am 32 years old. I was born in '92. I didn't really start to understand baseball until around 1997, 1998. And at the time, my older brother's favorite team was the Chicago Cubs. He now since has moved on and become a White Sox fan. I don't know why. Don't ask me. I keep telling him to come back home, but it is what it is. But um, for me, it's always been the Chicago Cubs. It was the Chicago Cubs in 2003. It was the Chicago Cubs in 2007 and 2008. It was the Chicago Cubs when we were having losing seasons. It was Chicago Cubs when we were having winning seasons. It's been the Chicago Cubs, and it always will be the Chicago Cubs. And for me, Sammy Sosa is probably the first superstar player that I recognized. Outside of a Michael Jordan, the next biggest thing in Chicago in the 90s was Sammy Sosa. There's no denying that. It wasn't Frank Thomas. It wasn't Paul Konerko. It wasn't anybody like that. It was Sammy freaking Sosa. He was the man. Sammy Sosa was the reason why I wanted to watch baseball. He was must-see television every single game because you knew he was going to do a home. You knew he was going to hit a home run. He was going to do the little hop, the little jump, and then he was going to run around the bases. And he was just electric. I wish my family wasn't broke and we had money to be able to go to Sammy Sosa baseball games at Wrigley Field because I know it was nothing short of a movie. But yeah, for me, Sammy coming home is important. It's huge in Cubs lore. Sammy Sosa will never, hear me clear, he will never make it into the Baseball Hall of Fame. His record, his legacy is tarnished there. But that doesn't mean that he can't make it into the Chicago Cubs Hall of Fame. That doesn't mean he can't get that well-deserved blue jacket. That doesn't mean that the Cubs cannot honor him and give him his just due for what he did. That does not mean that they cannot put a statue up for him around Wrigley Field because it is well-deserved. Call it what you want. Did he take performance-enhancing drugs? Did he not take performance-enhancing drugs? It wasn't every single season, and he was still knocking the cover off the ball either way. I believe I believe that Sammy Sosa deserves a statue. I believe he deserves to go into the Cubs Hall of Fame, and I believe that he is considered a Cubs great. And this right here, him coming to the Cubs convention, him reconciling with the Ricketts, is the first step in making all of that happen for him. I don't know what caused him to finally come through and be honest about what happened. I don't know what prompted him to do that, but I'm thankful that he did because I want the Cubs to honor Sammy Sosa because all of my childhood memories in baseball involve Sammy Sosa. It was Sammy, my two of my favorite players from back in the day, Sammy Sosa, Derek Lee, and another one was Carlos Zambrano. I loved all three of those players. They were three of my favorite. And like I said, I enjoyed all of them watching them. And really, like I said, they made me want to watch baseball for different reasons. So again, Sammy Sosa coming home to the Chicago Cubs. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think Sammy Sosa should be welcomed back with open arms? Do you think that Sammy Sosa should be welcomed back to the friendly confines with welcome arms? Or do you think Cubs fans will welcome him back? Do you think some will still hate him? I've talked to some Cubs fans that have already told me it doesn't matter what he does. I got nothing good to say about him. He's a cheater. There are some that feel that way. But then there are others like me that remember all the fond moments and how literally Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa saved the 1998 season by literally being on home run watch every day. It was literally like having to watch between the two of them to see who was going to take the lead for the home run leader. I mean, that was must see television in 98. It was a great time for Chicago. I mean, he left it all out there on the field. He has no regrets. He did it for the fans. It's kind of what I took away from his letter. And I believe the Ricketts believe him because they opened him back with they welcome him back with open arms. He's invited to Cubs convention this year, which by the way, if you guys are trying to get to Cubs convention, if you've never been to Cubs convention and you're trying to get to Cubs convention, you need to get your name on the list so that when tickets open for Cubs convention, definitely go and sign up for that. There's going to be a lot of big names, a bunch of podcasts, a bunch of people out there. I have strongly considered maybe making my way up for the event too, for Cubs convention, and maybe even going live from Cubs convention on this channel. I'm not saying I am. I'm just saying I've thought about it. But with Sammy Sosa being there, those tickets are going to go fast, and the price is probably going to double because again, he's a Cubs legend. So again, those are my thoughts. I want to welcome Sammy Sosa home. I am thankful that he is coming back home to the Chicago Cubs. He's going to be welcomed back with open arms. Hopefully, he'll be around the organization a lot more now. He's always been a Cub, always felt he was a Cub, and he can't wait to reconnect with all of us. I have sorely missed him. He is my first memories of baseball. I know for some of you, some of your first memories on this channel may be maybe Rhino. Some of you might be Fergie. Some of you might be, Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks. I mean, like I said, it doesn't matter to me. Sammy Sosa is right up there with those guys when it comes to who I believe in Cubs folklore are some of the best all time. And he is deserving of every single accolade he will get here in the near future, whether that's a statue, whether that's a blue jacket, whatever it is, he deserves it. He deserves it, guys. And you can't take that away from him. He bled Cubby Blue, just like us, just like us. So, with that being said, folks, that's my show for today. I'm super excited, guys, to be bringing you content all the time. I need you guys to do me a favor. If you're enjoying the content that I am bringing you, leave a voicemail at 773-389-6954, or you can email us at chicagobaseballcentral@gmail.com. And please, please, please follow us on X, on Instagram, and TikTok at Chicago Cubs Central. Shout out to everybody that's viewing us on X right now during this show. Appreciate you guys. Make sure that you leave a heart on the tweet, and then also make sure you click on that link and go over if you have not already and subscribe. If this is your first time watching Chicago Cubs Central, thank you. I hope that you enjoyed the content. I hope that it just sparked something in you. Please, everybody, let's get involved. This ain't just my show. This ain't just my channel. This is all of ours. This is something we're all going to share together, and we're going to have a lot of fun with. In order to do so, you need to leave a comment below. I respond to comments, guys. Check it out below. I respond to everybody's comments below. I get in the conversation. I love talking Cubs. It's literally what I do 24/7. So I might as well do it with you as well, the viewers. So I appreciate you guys so much for checking out this episode of Chicago Cubs Central right here on the Chi-Town Sports Central Network, the official voice of the Chicago Cub fan. Let your voice be heard down below, or calling, or writing an email. Shoot me a message on Instagram, on X, on TikTok, guys. I respond to everything. I love talking with you guys. I love hearing your thoughts. Let your voice be heard. And you know, if any trade drops or any type of free agent signing drops, you already know I'm coming right in, hopping right on here, and we're going live to talk about it. I appreciate you guys so much. Once again, like I said, be on the lookout for our Sunday conversation show. If any news drops this weekend, I will definitely be right there, Johnny on the spot for it as well. And then, of course, we got that crosstown conversations coming up too. So stay on the lookout for that as well. Again, I appreciate all of you so very much. You don't even know. Make sure to like, share, subscribe to pod. Until next time, it's been your boy Mike Jones. I appreciate all of you.